this is Deanna with Community Lending, and we're joining Legendary Automotive today to once again come together and help Ramona with her very special cause. Ramona is the director of A Voice in the Wilderness. Today we're going to be packing 100 backpacks full of feminine hygiene products, purses, blankets, toothpaste, toothbrushes for her to give out to homeless and human trafficking victims.
Hi, it's Vito with Community Lending in Fort Myers. Today we are teaming with Legendary Automotive again to help Ramona at A Voice in the Wilderness.
That's right. This is it's pretty awesome that there's a business like Community Lending in Fort Myers that gives so much back to the community. We've been able to partner with them recently on our Four Wheels Forward car giveaway, where Ramona won the van, and we're getting together to continue to help her today.
Yeah, it's actually really good to be able to get together with a company like Community Lending and really reach out with somebody like Ramona, and just meeting her, not only getting her the giveaway car that we did, seeing how much she does for the community, how many people she helps. It's amazing, so I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, thanks guys.
And I'm going to let you tell a little bit about your vision and what you've got going on.
Okay, A Voice in the Wilderness Empowerment Center is an outreach service providing organization, and what we do is we work out in the trenches. We go in those areas where people have usually fallen to the cracks, whether it's opioid addiction, human trafficking, homelessness, or whatever the case may be. We go into hotels, we go into abandoned buildings. Wherever those people are, that's where we are, giving them the services that they need and trying and hoping that they will come out of the darkness and into the light. I started working in the trenches. First of all, it started with me doing HIV and STD testing. I had noticed that there was a lot of youth that was starting to test positive, and so I wanted to intervene and actually give them other alternatives rather than instead of jumping into that lifestyle or jumping into sex without any type of education. So I decided to have a outreach program, and what happened is during that outreach I was able to question a lot of people within the community, and those people were those who was trapped in the trenches. And what does that mean is that those were people that had fallen through the cracks, whether they were runaway foster care children, whether they were drug addicted, or even those that were homeless. No matter what the case was, one thing began to stick out, and that was intravenous drug usage. And once we realized that intravenous drug usage was a problem, that's when I was able to start finding ways to help those who were suffering from addiction to get into detox. But in doing that, I also found that there were a lot of women that were coming to me that was abused. They had bruises all over their bodies that weren't the track marks. And Lucy may remember how I met our mutual friend. Unfortunately is no longer here. She died of an overdose. I met her doing one of my events. She literally got knocked out by a guy in the middle of 41. And that is when I realized that women were doing things above and beyond prostitution. A lot of them was being forced into a lifestyle that they did not want. And a lot of those women, not only were they being human trafficked, some of them graduated into prostitution. And what do I mean by they graduated into prostitution? They had nothing else to do. They had fallen through the cracks at an early age, and prostitution was all that they knew. So even when they had the chance to get away, they did not have the resources or the support to be able to leave the streets. You never know who human traffickers are. And I say that in the most adamant way ever, because Lucy was actually with a trafficker, and I knew the trafficker's sister. And Lucy and other girls, about how many girls you all had in the house?
It was like, well, there was like 8. Well, it was one guy and then like 8 girls, but then I didn't even know that 2 of those girls were underage. And yeah, it's like when you're in that moment, you don't realize like what is going on until you like step out of it and you're like, oh my God, this is what I'm looking at.
What do you attribute that to? Like, what helped you get to where you are today? What would be the one thing that really you feel like is deserving of it?
Definitely Xander, my son, he's definitely my main reason for everything that I do and why I'm here. Another one is just for my family, and I'm to the point where I was just like, I'm not getting any younger. I need to grow up, you know, and yeah, it's an addiction, so it's not like, you know, I'm saying like, oh, you need to grow up, you're mature, but it's just like, it was time for me to get my shit together. So that definitely has helped me. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I'm perfect, and I don't have my days where I mess up, you know, because I'm human and we all make mistakes, but I realize like, I will never ever be to where I was before, because I have a son now that I have to live for, and then I finally saw, she helped me realize that like my family does love me, you know. So that helped. But yeah, it's hard. It's definitely really hard. But Ramona, she makes it so that she knows, hey, we're all people and you're just in a bad time right now, and she's gonna help you get into a better place.
So she makes you feel like a human.
Yeah, she makes people feel normal, and that's why a lot of addicts trust her. A lot of addicts would not have someone waiting outside, you know, like with Ramona. Like, she's just, we just trust her with our lives because she's awesome. Been times where like we literally just had nowhere else to go, me and my ex, and Ramona would let us sleep on her couch, and it's like, no one else is nice enough to do that. Ramona would literally be like, hey, do you guys need food? And it's not even like, oh, you know, like she wants to take a picture with me while she's giving me the food, you know, like a lot of people are. She's just like, hey, I got food for you, I got some clothes for you. She's just awesome.
A lot of times the parents, because kids, like we've had kids out there that had everything in the world.
Oh yeah.
But they didn't feel as though they was loved because they didn't get that emotional gift. No, they didn't get it, but they didn't feel it. Like some people think that giving a person cars, gifts, like that's enough. That's me showing your love. But I remember one particular girl said, you know what? I just wish my dad would tell me he loved me.
I honestly just let them know. Just be like, listen, I know that you are going through whatever it is you're going through, and I don't think of you any less for that. I'm here for you whenever you're ready to get your shit right. And, you know, like, you're not gonna enable them, but you still love them. You're not.
Don't beat them down. Like,
yeah.
Don't tell them how much their life is affecting your life and your appearance and your reputation.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of the people that I work with in the trenches, they're mostly bound by what they're perceiving their parents are feeling or getting from the community about them. Basically, you know what? Sometimes you just have to don't say anything. You know, just let them know I'm here. You know what I mean? I love you. A lot of the girls, they think that they don't have family or they don't have support. So what I'll do, I'll get their parents' number. And when I think they're at that vulnerable point, listen, I think you need to come and get your kid, or either, come on, Lucy, I'm going to drive you home to your mom, and to see her and her mom embrace for the first time. She really thought her mom hated her. But when her mom laid eyes on her and grabbed her, that was a magical moment, and that's when you started.
That's when I woke up a little bit more, and I was just like, this isn't fun. I don't want to do this anymore.
So here you are. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's super cool. And you're sitting in front of a hero poster because you're our hero.
Yes. Thank you.
You're our hero. Yes, you are.
Thank you.
You just help them in the background. You do it all.
No, because if it wasn't for you all, I wouldn't have the tools that I need to be able to penetrate the wall that will allow me to get into the trenches.